Hi friends, it's Ashley from Ashley's Paper Heart, and today I thought we could do a half real time, half sped up to music video of me working in my new uh, reading journal. So I set this up the other day. I filmed part of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to upload me setting this up. This is definitely not as, I guess, detailed as some other like reading journals I've seen, but I wanted something kind of light, and since it's kind of like the first time I've ever done a reading journal, and so I thought what better thing to do but use this Soonkin traveler's notebook insert that I've been holding on to, because this is the year that I use what I have. Trying not to, as far as notebooks, I have so many notebooks. I still have a video. I want to film it. I'm just like overwhelmed of like looking through how many actual notebooks I own and really like sitting in that for a minute, because I have a lot of blank notebooks. And then if you like also count the half finished notebooks, there's a lot. It's a lot. So I thought I'd do that to like really encourage myself to use what I have. So anyway, if I don't upload the setup of this, I'll just give like a really quick tour of what's in there. So basically what I have is the cover, and then I wanted to only track a few things as far as like reading log. So my goal this year is to read 40 books. It may not seem like a lot to some people, but to me, someone who hasn't been reading a whole lot lately, this is a lot. But I'm already doing a really good job, and I'm going to grab, oh, if I can only remember what color that is. It's like I put that color there, and I think it's this one. Let's see. I'm gonna test it. That does not look like the same color, does it? Oh, I love it when I do stuff like this and then I can't remember what color I used. I think it's this one. Let's try. So, as you can see, I'm not super organized. Yeah, I think it is. Okay. Anyways. So, that also includes audiobooks. That's why I put a color like differentiation between the two, because I kind of want to see how much I'm actually reading versus how much I'm listening to. Ideally, I'd like to read more than I listen to, but sometimes we get busy, and maybe the only way that I'm gonna have time to read is by listening to an audiobook. So I wanted to do just this cute little like square thing on the side so I can kind of see it fill up. And then I will write down the actual books on this side. And I do have some books to fill out that I've finished. And there's the continuation on the back. So this is a chart, a really kind of bare bones chart. So I want to see how many books basically and how I'm reading them. Like when I start them versus finish them, and where they kind of cross over in the months. So that is what that is. Then I have pages read, which I should have done more because I read more than 500 pages. I guess for some reason I thought I wasn't going to read that much this month. I don't know. And February was a short month. Okay, well, I guess probably most of the time my thing will be like all the way over. Maybe I'll like write down inside like the bar how much it actually was. I don't know. Then I want to do like a top 5 books. And then I have a place for reading challenges and book club picks. So I want to list the actual reading challenge that I do. So this shouldn't be like a lot of stuff. I don't plan on doing a lot of reading challenges, although I do have one that I'm doing for March. And then book club picks, I do already have one one of the book clubs that I've started following. So there's that. And I think then I left space for like monthly if I have like something big like this. This little bingo card goes with the reading challenge. And then I want to do ratings and reviews in the back so I can kind of remember what I thought about a book. So that is kind of like the very brief setup of what I have. So I thought today we could go through and kind of fill this out, at least partially on camera. So I want to tell you the kind of motivation that I had behind all of this. Sorry, I'm like trying to hold back a sneeze, so hopefully I don't sneeze or you don't hear me like sniffling. The wind here in Southern California has been so bad because of these like weird, crazy storms. You know, we had snow yesterday. Like for 5 minutes, it was like legit snowing and sleeting here. And we live like really close to the coast. Like this is just bizarre weather. So yeah, the wind and everything else has just been crazy here too. And I'm like got the sniffles, definitely allergies, not sickness, because I am done with being sick. I have mentally told myself we are not getting sick anymore this year. I know that will not do anything. I know that I am just like fooling myself mentally. So you may ask why do I have like double things in here? And because I want to put some of this in my actual Hobonichi, in case for whatever reason this reading log just like doesn't stick around. At least I know my Hobonichi will stick around, so I don't feel too bad about kind of doubling up on, I guess, what I'm doing, but it's more for just in case like the reading log doesn't stick around. At least I will also have it in my journal, which I know that I will be using for the rest of the year. I know I've had like a history of being able to finish journals, so I have not had a history with finishing a reading log. So anyway, what got me reading again? Because if I have to be honest, I haven't been reading like seriously. I think maybe last year I read like 1 or 2 books the entire year. And that's not what I want for myself. So I've really been taking a hard look at like habits and what I've been doing. So hopefully the sound of the scissors isn't like completely annoying. But, you know, it's easy to cut things out and talk as opposed to like trying to write and talk. So anyway, I've really been like analyzing the habits that I have. What are the things that I do every day? And it kind of started with, you know how if you have an Apple device, they have the screen time, I guess, is it like an app or I don't know. And it shows you like how much time you're spending on each application and what you're doing on your phone and your iPad and all that. And so I think it was maybe in January, I actually like paid attention because it like gives you weekly reports. So it told me like I spent like 10 hours on Instagram, and I was like horrified. Like in a week I was like absolutely horrified. I'm like, are you kidding me? I spent 10 hours mindlessly scrolling on social media, and that's just Instagram. It doesn't count like watching YouTube, which I don't feel like YouTube is quite as bad as like Instagram, and I don't do TikTok specifically for the reason that I know that I will just sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll. And if I'm honest, as much as I love social media and I guess I create content, I don't particularly, I think most of it relates to Instagram. I don't particularly like the way I feel after looking at a bunch of stuff on Instagram. Like all this like really short format content to me just drives home the fact of like really making things look like something that they aren't actually, if that makes sense. Like everything looks shorter. Like if you look at art content, for example, like you see someone drawing, and then tap, it's the finished piece. Yay! How do we get there? I don't know. It makes everything seem so unattainable. And then just like the random, just dumb stuff that just gets like recommended to me, and the ads for like buying stuff that I don't need, but then I get sucked into it and I'm like, oh wait, do I need another pair of tennis shoes? Do I really? These are really pretty. Do I need them? And then it just, I don't know. So I've decided that I don't want to feed the monster. Like, yes, I create content, and yes, I think social media can be good in a lot of ways, but I think it's good in moderation. And I think it's so easy just to like tune out, especially if like I'm feeling stressed, which I have been feeling stressed because of work and stuff like that, but it's so easy to tune out. And that short form content is just like dopamine hit after dopamine hit without actually having to work for anything to get it. You know what I mean? So I just feel like it was really bad for my brain. So I put a screen time limit. I think I might have talked about this in another video, maybe. I put a screen time limit, and basically like at max I can look at Instagram for an hour a day. And I know for maybe some people that's like, why are you on there for an hour? That's a lot. And yeah, it probably is a lot. But I think some people don't realize how much time they're actually spending on an app. Because if you would have told me before that I spent like, what was it, 10, 12 hours in a single week on Instagram, I would have been like, no way. Because it's like, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And I was just like, no way, it could not be possible. But when you see it for yourself and you're like, it's possible, it just made me wake up and say, okay, this is not what I want. It's not good for my brain. It's giving me unrealistic expectations, unrealistic, like, dopamine hits for not even working for anything. So I'm just like, I gotta change this. And I know I've read in books previously, maybe even online in like articles, that the best way to make behavioral adjustments is to like replace the thing that you're trying to change with something else, something better. So I decided I am going to replace all of that scrolling time with reading a book. And I did that for the month of February, and it actually turned out really good. I felt more content. I felt calmer. I didn't feel the need to shop as much. There are a lot of benefits. And then, of course, the benefit of being entertained by a really good story. So I kind of mark this month as a win. And I'm hoping to be able to continue it throughout the year. And I'm hoping that having this like reading log, which, I'm all about having just one more notebook to play around in. I'm hoping this will motivate me to continue reading. Because, something else that happened as I've been reading more this past month. My kids have been more excited about reading because they see me sitting with a book. Like, there's always a book around right now. And so, like, when I have a few minutes, I'm, like, reading a chapter here, a chapter there. And now they're, like, sitting down and, like, reading their books. I guess because they see me doing it. Which shouldn't be surprising because, kids want to emulate you. But it's been really good. And I'm not setting the bad example of like being sucked into a screen all day. So that is kind of like my whole why behind it. I really hope that I stay motivated. Oops, I just bumped the microphone. I'm so sorry. I really hope that I stay motivated. That is kind of the goal. So anyway, to keep me motivated, I want to try to do some... What color pen did I use in here? I think I was using... I'll get back on that thought in a second. This one, the Micron. I want to do like some reading challenges and stuff just because I feel like having that camaraderie kind of helps. And then I've like kind of fallen down the hole of booktube and like found a bunch of books that I want to read. And I don't know, this may sound silly, but I feel like when I've watched some like the videos on booktube and stuff, that people who review books tend to speak like they're more educated. I know this sounds really duh. Of course someone would sound more educated if they're reading more than the average person. I don't know. I found that enjoyable because it, after watching like dumb video after dumb video on Instagram and just like this, garbage content, stuff that people do just strictly for the algorithm, strictly for the views, doesn't really add any sort of like value to your life. I'm just so used to seeing that seeing someone like intelligently talk about a book or books over a video is just really refreshing. So I don't know. Hopefully I don't sound too much like a snob. It's normal. Our tastes change, right, as we get older. Maybe having something, I think I'm in the point in my life where like when I consume content, I want it to have more substance than not. If I want entertainment, like, like smutty entertainment or whatever, there are plenty of like reality TV shows I could watch for that. And I don't know. Kind of rambling, but anyways. So this month I finished The Hike, and then I also finished, I think that's the right color. I also finished this little one, Even Though I Knew the End, by C.L. Polk, which was my first kind of like, I guess it's like a novella, fantasy, like detective noir, sapphic romance, mystery, whodunit kind of thing. It was good. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but it was good. It was a good read. And it was short. It was really, really short. So I think it was like 136 pages. So it really wasn't that much of a time investment, which if you like want that like really quick kind of read to give you like the win of finishing a book, like novellas are the way to go. And plus you get a good story out of it. So let's see. So what I was thinking is that I want to start doing a few like book review type content, but I want to do it like a voiceover of me working in my sketchbook. So like kind of killing two birds with one stone, because sometimes like I don't know what I'm going to talk about in a voiceover, but if I have like narrating the voiceover when I'm doing is, it doesn't feel incredibly like engaging or interesting to me. And so I think maybe if I draw stuff like images or imagery from a book and then talk about the book, that might be a fun way to kind of merge the content together, since I do want to be doing more sketchbook videos, at least Sketchbook Sunday. I know I didn't put one out a few weeks ago, but hopefully this week I will have time to do that. So what is that all that I've read this month? I think so. Yeah. So I printed out the covers. You're probably like, what is all that? I printed out the covers of some of the books that I'm reading. So right now I'm reading The Spite House by Johnny Compton. I finished this one for a readathon. and I finished The Hike just because I wanted to read that book. So let's see. Hopefully that's dry. So moving on. I'm not exactly sure, no, I did start this book. I just haven't finished it. It's a nonfiction. Nonfiction books take me longer. And that was mostly what I was reading before. The previous couple years, if I'd read anything, it was nonfiction. And I have to be in the right mindset and mood to read nonfiction, because I have to be prepared to take in information and kind of retain it. Because I think, why are you reading nonfiction if you're not going to retain anything that you read? I guess I'm just going to do whatever color I feel like. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? So we're going to do The Hike here. So I started The Hike in early February, and we finished it at the end of February. So oops, I put it on the wrong line. Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to remember that that's where that corresponds. I knew I was going to do that because I had to move this down to the second line, and I'm so mad at myself that I just did that. But we're just going to go with it, right? Because that's just what's going to happen. Now, if I can remember to not do that on this one, I will be so happy. So this one, there we go. This one only took me 2 days to read. And when I've sat down to read, I've been reading for I basically have been reading mostly in between things with my kids, but then my long stretch of reading has been at night. So I'll sit down and read for 2 or 3 hours at once. And that's been kind of nice. So even though I knew the end. I know it's kind of light, but I don't know. So I think it'll be fun as I see this progress and see kind of where was I doing most of my reading, kind of as a yearly view. Okay, so pages read for January. I read nothing, so we're not gonna put anything there. I think what I'm gonna do. Obviously, I read more than 500 pages. I really didn't think that was going to be the case, but since that's probably going to be the case most months, at least I hope it will, what I'm going to do is write the actual number here, and then I'll just do my little diagonal lines, and hopefully that will be sufficient. It would have been nice if I would have, I guess, made the chart a little, made the numbers bigger, a larger value is what I mean, so that I could actually see some variation in the line, but it is what it is, right? So that was February. I'm very proud of myself because from going from reading nothing, 2 books a year, and we're only a month in, and I've read 3 books. So, okay. So reading challenges. So for the month of March, I am doing this reading challenge called Tour.com-a-thon, and I think that's hosted by Beautifully Bookish Bethany on YouTube, and she and some other people are doing this one. So let's see, for March, I'll just do. Okay. And then, so something that I did was smart. I also found a book club that is reading The Spite House. And that is actually a book that counts for this too. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone. So for March, we have book club pick is The Spite House. I actually have really been enjoying The Spite House. I will say so far, I'm almost 100 pages in. It's a really slow burn, but I feel like they're building up to something happening. Hopefully the action once it starts will just happen quickly. But I am enjoying kind of the build up, learning about the characters and their motivations and learning about the house and some stuff, although you know how they do, it's just they'll talk very vaguely about something until you absolutely need to know what is going on. So that'll be fun. It's been good so far. I've enjoyed it, and hopefully I will continue to enjoy it. So I'm going to put this little bingo card that I printed out over here. So I have that. And I already actually, because I read the that group book, that's what I was going to put. So there's a group book. This is the group book. And that already checks off a lot of the bingo slots. But I do plan on reading, even if I get a bingo, I plan on reading Tor.com or Tor books from that publisher for the rest of March, just because I purchased some and I think that I'll be interested in reading them despite reading your challenge or not. So and I don't know if I'll be doing reading challenges every month, but I think when I see one that really appeals to me, I will do it. Do you guys keep a book log? Do you do reading challenges? Do you have a book club? Do you know of any book clubs? I would love to be a part of a book club. I looked around on meetup.com, just for a local book club, but I really didn't find a whole lot. Do people actually meet anymore and talk about books? Is that a thing? I feel like it should be if it's not. Surely it is. Wouldn't it be fun just to do a Zoom call, a group Zoom call about talking about a specific book everyone's read? I think I tried to do a reading thing with one of my pen pals once, but then we both kind of just fell off of keeping caught up. I think at that point I wasn't in the frame of mind to really sit down and read, but I definitely am now. So if you know of any book clubs where people actually discuss what's read, I would love to know. The Hike, actually, my husband and I both read it at the same time, and so we got to sit down and discuss it, and that was super fun. And this is actually the second book that we're reading in my husband and I's book club of two. The Great Unknown. I know it was a part of some other book clubs, maybe from one of the people from the news morning show or something, but I'm excited. Okay, so there's that. Let's see. I don't know how I'm gonna mark. I feel like I need a thicker marker. Maybe this will write over this color well. I didn't even think about that. we can try it. So for this one, I'll have to remember. So of course you get the free. This is a non-US author. This is Sapphic. I think the author is non-binary. I think. I'm going to have to double check that before I mark it off. So it has birds on the cover. It's the group book. This is a new to me author because I've never read anything by them. I'm pretty sure that it's a non-binary author. I could have a bingo if I just read a Portal Fantasy. And I know I've seen there is a Portal Fantasy that I do want to read. This also has a hat or a helmet on the cover. So I think... So it also has a world with magic. Gosh, this like checks off so many things. Maybe I'll go try to get a blackout. I don't know. I'm not super interested in reading an older like sci-fi fantasy book, but who knows? Maybe I'll try for like a full blackout on the board. Just because like this one counted for so much. And so I don't know if you can see that. I know it's kind of like light on there. So I'm not going to write down my reviews on camera, but I am going to stick in the little books. So we're going to put in the hike. And I just want to put like a synopsis and kind of like my thoughts on the book when I write down what I thought of it. Just so I can remember, even though I'm not going to do a review on this video of this book, I would say just like quick thoughts. This was good. It's kind of like a dark, adult, Alice in Wonderland feel to it, but with a dude. It was good. I wouldn't say great, but it was good. It was entertaining. So... You seriously, I can't ask for more. I was entertained. I definitely am not keeping the book. I will probably be passing it along to someone or, I don't know, selling it. I don't know. I mean, I just got the paperback, so I'll probably just like pass it along. I have a feeling that most books that I read may not stay like in my collection. I'm trying not to like have like a giant collection of physical books. I do have a Kindle, so I will be reading some on that. But I don't want to like a giant collection of physical books just because I don't really want to have a giant bookshelf. Like we have a bookshelf in our living room, but it has a lot of our kids' books and stuff in it. So yeah. I plan on, as I read them, probably like giving them away, passing them along to people who I think would enjoy them. Just sharing, you know, the joy that I got out of it. So that is it for this video. This is kind of like a really quick setup. And yeah. So that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed me in kind of rambling and working in this journal, and hopefully this will be like a monthly thing or maybe more than once a month just to keep everything so I'm not like doing it all at the end of the month. That would be a lot, especially if I read a lot of books. Anyways, hopefully this will be like some regular content on my channel. It's definitely something I want to stick with. So, all that being said, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. If you have any suggestions on what I should be reading, please leave them down below. I'm so, like, far out of the, like, what's popular in the book world. Like, I would love suggestions. I would read probably just about anything. Like, I guess sci-fi. I'm not really a sci-fi person, but anything else I would read. So, that's all for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time. Bye.